Shades of gray are conquering our planet. The color green needs to win. The shades of green need to cover the planet again.
Yeah, there's this real misunderstanding when we destroy parts of nature or, Amazon forest, whatever we destroy, we're destroying something completely more powerful. And that is that soul connectivity of all the life that lives in a forest or in a rainforest or in a meadow or wherever it may be. There's always this idea that we're doing a lot more damage than we're pretending to do by cutting down 50 trees. Oh, we're cutting down 50 trees. No, you're destroying a complete ecosystem that is connected by souls that live inside all these different creatures and plants and trees. So that connectivity is what we're really destroying. And that is the hardest thing to repair, is repairing that connectivity so it comes back to life is a lot harder than replacing the 500 trees. And we have to start learning that this soul connectivity has so much intrinsic energy that is so hard to fix and to repair. Yeah, so yesterday was the first time I went into the city for about a week or 2 weeks. And I actually noticed something very peculiar. And that is that I was seeing my surroundings in shades of gray instead of shades of green. And it was very interesting to me because I had this real understanding that the world is turning more gray than it is turning green. And I think every decade we lose a level of this greenness. We're going always more towards gray, gray, gray. And these shades of gray have a very, very important meaning that somebody needs to actually really explain. And that is that when something has gone from green to a gray color, there's a loss, a net loss. Something has happened in such a way that we've lost something. And that the problem with that loss is that we need to understand that nature will have a harder time bringing that back to green. So it's like an elastic band. The more a city or a village or a country turns towards the gray, the harder nature has to catch up and turn it back into green. So there's more energy involved turning something from gray back to green compared to something that is green and you have to turn it into a brighter color of green. So there's a net loss there that we have to be very cautious about. And if every decade we're losing that green energy or the organic energy, it's going to make it a lot harder for the next generation, the children, to create green spaces for themselves, to create oxygen, to create green areas. It's going to be very tough dealing with this downfall of energy in terms of green matter. So pay attention, go outside and just look around and remember 10 years ago. Was it this gray? Is this problem that we are losing so much green matter, so much green energy? And we always have to remember life attracts life. And when you have lots of flowers in an area and there's no other flowers, the bees will show up. If there's lots of pollinating insects here, the reptiles will show up. It's that circle that we're missing, and we're actually making it harder and harder for us to save the planet in such a way that life attracts life. And if we don't understand that concept that life needs other life to survive, we're in a lot of trouble. I noticed when I came walking back from the city that the trees are half full of leaves. I've never seen that before. Like you look around and the trees are missing leaves. They're not completely covered. The ground is very sporadic. There's a little bit of green matter and then there's a bare spot. And it's it's a decay that I see, and that decay is very interesting to me because we have to be very careful with that, because we're not really paying attention to that idea that we need life in our lives to stay healthy, to stay mentally well. And there's so much of that going on right now, is where we're, constantly paving or mining or doing all these things, and these spaces that support all the life are disappearing a lot more. There's no room for butterflies, or there's no room for rabbits, or they're all being pushed into smaller and smaller spaces to accommodate life. And humans have to be very cautious about that, because we're meant to live in nature. We're meant to go outside and get sunlight and get fresh air and get, whatever the plants give us. We need these plants to protect the surface of the earth. There's so many things that we're doing wrong, and it's getting worse every decade. And this idea of our planet going from green, shades of green, to shades of gray is very dangerous for our future and for ourselves. Yeah, it's interesting. The human race is chasing this materialistic world, and maybe that materialistic world is actually going to kill us. It's going to wipe us out as a species. We need this energy from nature to keep ourselves healthy. We need this ground cover to protect us. We need a food source that comes from the ground. We need all those things. And if we're really focused on this material world, humanity, especially the next generations, are going to be in a lot of trouble, because we really need this connection with nature that keeps us healthy. And maybe if we understand that we're chasing the wrong thing, we're chasing this, better house, better car, better whatever it may be, that might not be even what we need to do. So the next time you're thinking about this, supporting this commercial world, maybe you're better off supporting a place where you can actually create your own world and your own environment that keeps you healthy, that keeps you occupied, that keeps your mind occupied. These spaces are a lot more important for your health and for your well-being. Yeah, it's interesting. So this valley has been completely destroyed where I am. There's so much destruction everywhere. Everyone's cutting everything down. Everyone's throwing garbage into the river. And my piece of land here has this really odd event that's going on. And that is that the life that has been squished out of all the areas around me are coming here. And that tells me something, that, life is seeking, or animal life or reptile life or insects are seeking a place to keep on living. And if we keep pushing these areas into smaller and smaller spaces, we're going to lose a lot of that diversity that naturally occurs. And without that diversity, we're in a lot of trouble. It's going to get harder and harder to support life in this diverse, healthy way. So we have to really create green spaces for all this life to end up where it wants to be and where it needs to be, and that it can reproduce and it can have a good food source. All those things are incredibly important and incredibly valuable to keep this planet going the way it's supposed to go.